Right, we've already talked about adding mixed numbers together and the two ways to do that. Now let's discuss subtracting mixed numbers. First example is 1 whole minus 1/3. So one way to visualize that, you have a whole that's all the way shaded in, and you're subtracting 1/3 of that, of a whole. So we'll go in and take away, we'll chop it into 3 equal sized parts, take away one of those thirds, and I have 2/3 left. Using arithmetic, another way to think about this and compute it is to convert the 1, like see how we had to chop it up into 3 equal sized parts. I'll convert the 1 to 3/3 so that I can take away 1/3. 3 minus 1 is 2. I have 2 of those thirds left. So here's a picture that shows why we should do that, and here's the arithmetic. All right, now let's do 2 take away 3/4. I have 2 wholes, and I'll give you 2 different ways to thinking about this problem. One way is to say, all right, I have 2, I'm going to take away 3/4, so one of those wholes I'll chop into 4 equal sized pieces and let me take away 3 of them so that I'm left with 1 whole and 1/4 still. So 1 and 1/4. Okay, so another way to think of that is, say, take the 2, take away 3/4, but I don't have a fraction part to sort of line up with the 3/4. So you could, if you wanted to, convert the number 2 into 1 plus another 1, which I'm going to write as 4/4. So basically, here's the 1 whole, and here's the other whole that I broke up into 4 equal sized pieces. And then I'm going to take away 3/4. So if I do that, 4/4 minus 3/4 is 1/4, and then 1 take away 0 wholes is 1. So 1 and 1/4 is left. Or if you like, you could also convert the number 2 into a fraction with denominator 4. So 2 is the same as 2 over 1, right? So if I converted that to a fraction with denominator 4, I'd have to multiply this by 4, multiply that by 4. That would be 8/4. Take away 3/4, which gives me 8 minus 3 is 5/4. And then, if you like, you can, this is an improper fraction because the numerator is larger than the denominator, so you can go ahead and write that as 1 whole with 1/4 left over. So that's basically 3 different ways to view this problem. You can do it with a picture if your numbers are small enough, or go ahead and regroup some things, or sometimes it's easier just to convert everything to improper fractions and subtract from there. Let's do another example. 1 and 1/4 minus 3/4. So if I try to just take away the fraction part, 1/4 take away 3/4, I'm going to end up with a negative fraction. So that's not very helpful. I think what I'll do is convert the 1 and 1/4 to an improper fraction. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5. That's 5/4. So 1 and 1/4 is the same as 5/4. Take away 3/4, which gives me 2/4. Or 1/2 if I were to reduce it. So generally, this might be the easiest way to compute with mixed numbers. Just convert them to improper form. All right, one more. 3 and 5/11 take away 4 and 3/4. So something to notice about this problem, 3 and 5/11 is less than 4 and 3/4. So I should end up with a negative number here. So I think I'm not going to mess around with trying to draw this picture. Instead, I'll just convert everything to improper form. 11 times 3 is 33, plus 5 is 38. So I've got 38/11 here, minus 4 times 4 is 16, plus 3 is 19. 19/4. All right, so now this is just like the last section we learned, which was just subtracting fractions. Now what you can do is convert these to fractions with the same denominator and then go ahead and subtract the numerator. So 11 and 4, the least common multiple of those two numbers is 44. So I'll go ahead and write these two fractions with a denominator of 44. How do you go from 11 to 44? You multiply by 4. So 11 times 4 is 44. 38 times 4 is 152. And that's all right. Oh, maybe it is. And how do you go from 4 to 44? Here, you multiply by 11. 4 times 11 is 44. And 19 times 11, don't know that one. Can't do that one in my head, so I will go ahead and multiply on the side of my paper here. It's 209. So now 152 over 44 minus 209 over 44, I can go ahead and subtract the numerators. 152 minus 209. So remember, 209 is a larger number here. It's larger than 152, so I'm going to go ahead and find the difference. The difference is 57. So I know that the difference should be 57, and then it'll be over 44. But then the sign of the number will be the sign of the larger of these two numbers. Because remember, when we're subtracting, this is like plus a negative. So since we have more negatives than positives, my result here will be negative. Negative 57 over 44. Now you can leave it that way, or you can go ahead and convert back to mixed form. So 57 over 44, the negative sign will go out front. I know that that will be 1 whole, because that'll be 44 over 44, with 13 left over. So my answer is negative 1 and 13/44.